Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Boldly Going, where it is I, Merlin, sometimes known as Joe, and I got the film fanatics here with me. We got Dan over here,
Hey.
Justin over there.
Howdy.
And today we're going to talk about Next Generation, which is everybody's favorite show here, in theory. In theory. And we're going
Later seasons.
going back to an episode that I did remember, but I can't remember the title. Dan, what was
Too
it called?
short a season.
Too Short a Season, which I'm going to let Justin lead, because I'm not sure if he likes it or not. So tell us what it's about. Tell us what you thought.
Okay, Too Short a Season, which I do have to say I really do like the title.
Aha.
Otherwise known as The Curious Case of Admiral Jameson.
Uh-huh.
Is, in this case, the Enterprise is dealing with a hostage situation. And the terrorist leader is trying to threaten to kill a hostage if they don't get this gentleman, Admiral Jameson, now very old and decrepit, to pretty much negotiate and get down there and figure it out from there.
He's got the skills for it.
He has a certain set of skills. That's make no mistake about that. But as it goes along, we discover that there's more to it than that. Jameson starts aging backwards in a very Benjamin Button kind of way.
True.
And we discover that there's some side effects with that, and even deeper repercussions from there,
Sounds like there would be.
among other things. So, this was a very... I watched this episode today, and I really needed some time to reflect on it, because
Wow.
there are some things I really like about this episode,
Okay.
and there are some things I really don't.
Tell me.
The first and foremost is, I think this was an episode that could have worked so much better in later TNG, when they had a better idea of who they were, what their attitude was, what they were essentially trying to go for. Mm-hmm. The big thing here is they're emulating the same kind of like campy overacting that you get from TOS, which is fine if you're TOS, but TNG is obviously meant to be taken a bit more seriously. So when Jameson is like overacting his old nature and then dramatically changing, and the makeup I would say is fair for his aging stuff. I think for the period it's appropriate makeup wise. I think by today's standards it's kind of cheesy, but
I've seen worse.
oh yeah, but I mean like in terms of what they were working with at the time, I think it works. The problem is just the performance. I think he tries a little too hard with it.
Too much ham.
A little too much ham. The themes I really liked in this episode, like sort of going back to that Voyager episode we watched last month. Mm-hmm. Sort of like, okay, can we ever really redeem from our past? Why do we keep making the same mistakes? These are really good stuff, and I think for Trek they're perfect.
Yeah.
But I think the way it's handled in this one is kind of hit or miss. Like the whole aspect of his wife is probably the hammiest aspect of the entire episode, to be perfectly honest
There's
with
some issues that might come up, with
and the
the whole process.
Yeah.
and the conclusion, I think, while I liked it, I think takes way too long to get there.
All right. Did you like the whole Federation, dealing with terrorists?
That was an interesting way to look at it. Another spin on the Prime Directive, which is easily the most violated principle in the entire
Yeah.
Star Trek universe. But
Yeah, Picard will pretend like he doesn't disobey it, but he'll be like, well, it's the most important thing, but I have made a few exceptions once in a while.
yes, by virtue of the Prime Directive, which nobody seems to consistently have a grasp on what that is. But
there is a definition somewhere, I'm sure, but
See, I never mind that.
well, sometimes
it's not that it's bad. It's just painfully broad.
Well, look. This is the thing. I think we discussed this before. It's like it's kind of broad for a reason, and every person in each situation can interpret it and use it how they see fit, I guess.
But here's my counterpoint to that, though. Like, yes, you're right. Every captain, every other person that's using the Prime Directive, eventually violates their own logic at least once.
That's true, but I mean, one of the continuing themes about Star Trek is, of course, you're human and we're trying to do our best, but we're still not perfect. And yes, I think that instead of the Prime Directive being like this one thing that is our code that we can never violate, it's something that the captain must always have in the back of his mind.
Yeah.
So if he does decide to violate it, it's only
It
when
has
it's
to be for
absolutely
a
necessary.
purpose. Yeah.
A strong
That's why I
purpose.
like it.
So I think it's more of an interesting idea, but I can see the problems with it too. And what was your grade for this one?
For me, this one was just it was an interesting mixed bag, but was still very much a mixed bag. I leave it with a C+.
All right, Dan, what do you think?
I didn't like it.
Oh,
First of all, that makeup is horrible. 80s 60s, 1920s. I don't care. It stinks. He looks like a Muppet in the old man makeup. And
It's about the same
it was-
level as the Johnny Knoxville.
I was about to say.
It's about the same.
No.
You don't-
No
you don't think-
way.
you don't think
no
so?
way.
You don't think so?
Come on. They made him look ridiculous, and the acting didn't help. First of all, the acting as a young person was bad, but then when he has that entire face caked on, you can't even understand what he's saying.
Well, it's hard to move with the makeup. See, such a good
That's
job.
what I mean. So I think on both ends it's a miss. I think it was odd that there was no B story for this.
A little bit, yeah.
TNG
Because
has,
it's such a serious episode.
TNG has been sort of known, as we have gone through the first season, to have a B story. I
Can't
don't
always
know
have
if I don't know if I thought that this was a strong enough A story to contain the whole show. I guess you could say maybe the wife bit was a B story related to the A story.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The battle scene was ridiculous.
Hey,
Even for Trek standards, it was pretty.
It was
bad.
kind of like random shootout, to be
yeah,
honest.
it was random shootout.
sometimes you gotta have a random shootout.
But it was like
I mean,
it's purposeless.
yeah, it's like, where did this come from? Why did we get a big action sequence out of
Yeah.
completely nowhere?
It's exciting.
I agree. There's some interesting themes, but there's about 800 other ways to do it.
Oh, certainly.
Better than this D+.
Damn.
Okay.
Well, it's interesting because I actually like this one more than either of you guys. I do admit I think it is kind of cheesy. The makeup didn't bother me as much as it did you, though. I thought it was fine.
I'm okay with it.
Like I've legitimately feel like there's been worse out there, Dan.
I didn't care for it.
All right. Yeah, it's a little hammy, and definitely Justin's right. This show's still trying to find its footing, still deeply entrenched in TOS. But I do like the themes. I like the terrorist angle. I thought the main story was good enough, and I thought that the wife stuff added some extra drama. And, I thought the whole concept of the aging backwards Benjamin Button style was kind of interesting. There's some repercussions for it, at least, they went forward with that. I've always thought it was good for a season 1 episode. So, I leave it with a B-.
Oh,
I think it's pretty enjoyable, honestly. I thought it was
Being
fine.
a little lenient in the season 1 front.
Yeah, well, you've seen it.
Yeah,
it's
agreed.
Hey, it's only a hair above your grade, Justin. C+.
yeah, it's fine.
I don't know if
It's as far
for me, it's maybe a little too lenient. But
maybe, but I don't know. I always found it kind of entertaining in its
Alright.
own way. But then again, the season's almost over, so
I just think, look, you've got makeup artists doing Worf. There's some really good makeup on this show.
sometimes.
So
Sometimes.
this is
Main
the worst
keyword.
I've seen, I think, on
Okay.
the Next Generation
Let
thus
me,
far.
Let me ask you this though, Dan: had the makeup been of the same quality, but he was an alien, would you be complaining?
Interesting.
Because they don't typically do human makeup like that. It's always an
Interesting observation.
alien process.
No, they don't. However, I would argue that even the makeup in TOS with that guy,
Christopher Pike.
yes, with Christopher Pike, was better than this guy's makeup.
Well, I will tell you this: there is an episode of TOS where there is an aging plot element there, and you see an older Kirk, and even though it's not as excessive as the weird mask caked on,
Yeah.
it looks more convincing. So
Curious.
maybe it's not the best makeup,
yeah.
but it didn't. I didn't find it that distracting. I just kind of took it as it's Star Trek. It's gonna be a little cheesy.
Okay.
Always. No
Maybe
matter-
if it was one or the other. Maybe if it was the bad makeup or the bad acting, I could have, come to a
great makeup, bad
consensus.
acting,
But
but what if?
both is real distracting if
It
you're
really
the
is.
star of the episode.
Yeah.
I thought that was,
If you're going to be the guest star, you got to rise to
Yeah.
the occasion.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's not the best guest star, but I guess
Well, no.
I guess I always found the story kind of interesting. Always.
I think there's definitely some interesting themes to be tackled, for sure.
It's probably why he didn't fail the episode.
Yeah. I've seen worse.
Yeah,
I've seen worse TNGs. I believe I did fail one
the Ferengi one.
already.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
But they had the whips though.
That's
I don't.
lame.
I don't
Oh, yes.
understand
Mighty
it.
whips. That
Lame.
never
The
came.
laser whips, man. Come on. But is that all you guys got to say
That's
about
all
this
I
one?
have
Yeah, I
on.
was going to say, this
Too short a season.
Fairly straightforward.
Yeah, it's too short a season, but maybe not too short an episode for some people.
I would have
Uh,
liked it to be
okay.
shorter, yes.
Maybe a little shorter. But yeah, that was that. Let us know what you guys thought about it. Next time we're going back to DS9 to discuss all the stuff with the Cardassians and
Probably
the
some good
Bajorans
ones.
and I find it usually to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say goodbye, and you guys can too.
Yep. See ya.
Take it easy.